How's it going, everybody? I am Preston Johnson. Welcome to Last Word Cheetah, brought to you by Bets TV.
You guys are general philosophy.
That's exactly right. You're a fish.
Qwan, by the way, my producer, Qwan Young, doing a good job. He'll be taking the calls. How you doing today, bud?
Hey, man, how are you?
We appreciate you guys tuning in. Welcome to the show, Bets TV, bringing you Last Word Cheetah. What is up, everybody? Happy Monday. This is Last Word Cheetah, brought to you by Bets TV here in the Bets TV studios in Southern California. I am Preston Johnson, hanging out with everyone today, taking your calls, 661-515-BETS. How did your weekend go? How did the bets go? We did pretty well ourselves, Qwan, by the way. I'm here with Qwan Young, my producer, co-host. He's getting everything done on the side. I meant to even tell you we should have probably bragged in the post about when the link goes live on Twitter, the broadcast.
Yeah.
I was going to say you should put something like Preston went 14-2 on his college football stuff we talked about all week. Are you guys listening? But I forgot to tell you. But it was good. It was one of those Saturdays that was I ended up adding a few things Saturday morning. Got confirmation that Max Duggan and Evans were playing for TCU, liked over at that point. Ended up adding Alabama. I just couldn't get past the fact that Saban was, who knows what he was threatening behind the scenes, but they were going to just smash Mississippi State.
And Mike Leach, challenger's back.
Mike Leach has been susceptible against any athletic defenses, even at his Washington State days. Just it's hard with his air raid offense to move the ball. And sure enough, they didn't move the ball very well. So that was one I added. And then I feel like there might have been one more. But regardless, everything else we talked about all week, Texas was the lone L as a side.
Oh, that was.
And they were, look, second quarter, they were about to go up 21 and threw a 90-yard pick six the other way, and it just changed everything. They were literally going to go up 21 points. So, yeah, that was off. Oh, the other ad is Ole Miss got down to pick, and I was like, to hell with it, betting more. Like, -3, -2.5 pick. Ended up winning by 5. That game was like 5 hours long. Crazy shenanigans happening. You probably were already asleep. If anyone watched the end of Ole Miss Tennessee with Lane Kiffin, the fans were throwing stuff. Tennessee actually gets the ball back when everyone thought they might just call the game. It was wild. But anyways, it was a good weekend. I hope everyone else's weekend was good. What we do, we take your calls. We'll see how your weekend went. But you tell us bets you like now each day going forward. We track your bets throughout the month, and we give away cash at the end of the month to the winner or the leader on our leaderboard, which Qwan has updated, by the way. Joey went 5-0 this week, as did Patrick, you said?
Yes.
So now Patrick's into third. Sarab stayed in a similar range there, sitting in second on our leaderboard. But so far we have $650 in the prize pool for this month. We'll have more probably by the end of the month, but we're giving away cash every month. So it's a free shot. You guys get to call in, tell us what you're looking at. Or if you have questions for me, throw them my way. I can let you guys know. One caveat for today, Big L, computer cord, no dice. So I'm trying to do this a little more blind than usual. I have a cell phone. I know I try to give you guys the best price on the screen at any book basically in the world. Might not be as kind. I'm going to have a little friendlier version on my mobile that covers about 12 to 15 of the books. But anyways, just wanted to throw that out there for people that are calling. Be a little slower. Got to go mobile version, but it's all good. We'll figure it out. And I did lock in, I think, 4, maybe 5 sides for college this morning that I went through. So we'll talk about those at the end like we always do. My college football sides versus the early market. Who is up first? We can just start taking the calls.
We got Cam in New Jersey.
What's up, Cam? How you doing? How was your weekend?
I'm doing well. My weekend was another kind of wash. Saturday was all right.
Okay.
A couple of tough beats. Georgia. The Browns kind of ruined it. That was tough.
The Browns.
Ugly, complete wrong read, wrong side by me. Honestly, just more mad that I gave them out again on betting was extraordinaire instead of Baylor.
Doubled up.
Which I wanted to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happens? All good.
It does. I should say I was bragging about my college football Saturday. I liked 2 sides all week in the NFL. the Chargers, and the Lions, and those both were not even close. So it's my first losing NFL week, and it was like by 80 points. So we'll make sure we mention those. The NFL went poorly. Hopefully others did better on Sunday. But you're a new week. All is well. You said it was about a wash for you, but go ahead, lock in. What's your favorite play looking at the early board today?
There's two I'm looking at. I'm looking at UCLA and Maryland. It looks like UCLA has moved, but I'm still seeing a 1.5 on Superbook, whereas most other books have gone to 2.5. So I think I'll lay the 1.5 and then wait out Maryland for later in the week, because I'm curious to see where do you think which way do you think that line will go? Maryland's catching 5 right now. I would think it goes down before it goes up.
The market has liked Maryland in general, which I was always either against Maryland or not, and I was always like, hey, for an undefeated 4-0 team, I think is what they were at the time, like they're not this good. It's probably just a matter of time before they start playing decent teams. Like Minnesota's win against Nebraska was really impressive. Minnesota going into the year, if you had like a game of the year number in this matchup, would have been a lot higher. So it's, I think, more of a, what do you feel about Minnesota? They finally showed that maybe they're the team everyone anticipated them to be. I think my true line was a little higher. So if anything, you made me bet 5, I would lay it. I think I was around 6. UCLA, I have like a dead pick, but I know Oregon has some injuries that we're going to have to wait throughout the week and see. Like they had already had Vernell was out. They had like 3 or 4 to their starters during the game this past week. I don't know. I got to wait and see how significant those will be and who's actually playing or not. But there is a 1.5. And like you said, the market's pushing 2.5, 3. So we can give you the 1.5 for now and lock it in.
Yeah, I'll take UCLA minus 1.5.
Okay. That sounds good, man. Good luck. We'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Thanks. Have a good one.
See ya. Who do we got next, Qwan? What's up, Fran? How are you doing? How was your weekend?
Hey, what's going on, Preston? It's going well. I'm actually 7 straight winning days
nice.
that I'm just trying to keep the streak alive. I'm going to play a weather narrative here. I'm going to play, I think there's still a 60 total hanging for the Coastal Carolina game. I think if I can get that, lock that in for today. You
want to go under? What's the weather looking like?
Under 6. I think it's going to be windy and rainy. The combination of both of them, and then Coastal obviously plays pretty slow pace. So
they play on Wednesday too. For people that are wondering, this is an early game. Wednesday night. I can give you the 60, and for people that are maybe wanting to jump on, it's still 59.5 everywhere else, so it's not like it's gotten totally away yet. But if weather's a factor by tomorrow, and at least Wednesday, this will start moving down. So now or never, probably a good time.
Awesome. Thanks, Preston.
Yep. Take care. Next. How's it going, Patrick? How was your weekend outside of the 5-0 that you threw up on the Last Word Cheetah show last week?
You know what? I'm glad I didn't play the Browns under on your show, because that was a brutal beat.
Wait, hold on a second. Now that I'm just thinking about it, Qwan said you went 5-0, but didn't you use the Vikings?
Yeah, I played the Vikings.
And then they got the late crazy Sam Darnold. Did you do it when it was 1.5 or 2 or 2.5? Because did it come down to the 2 point? That's all I'm asking. Was there a sweat there or no?
I played it earlier in the week, so I think I'm maybe 1.5. I think I got.
Okay, so you would have won anyways.
And
I was just curious.
That game should not have been close
either.
They should have won that game by 3 touchdowns.
Yep. It was. I couldn't believe it. And then somehow on 4th and 10 out of his own end zone, Darnold makes one of the greatest throws I've ever seen, and they tie it, and they get the 2, which I know there were some people that were using the Vikings at 2. Maybe one person even did 2.5, but then a couple of you had it earlier. Anyway, I wasn't sure if it was going to come into play. Luckily, it didn't matter. But
okay.
Anyway, continue.
You know what that reminds me? Because they've used the same play, like the Patrick Mahomes shovel pass, the 2-point conversion play. How many teams do you see that have mimicked that play, and it cannot be defended on the goal line?
NFL is a
copycat
league.
It works all the time.
No, I've noticed that this year more than ever. They're running it. They're even running it in college a little. And I've actually not sat and watched it multiple times in a game film type setting, but there has to be. So here's my question. Qwan, you actually played football. When they do the zone read and he can go with an option and he starts moving to the left, usually the tight end's coming across to be a blocker, right? So is that why the linebackers are just ignoring the tight end there? And then when they shovel it to him, he can just basically walk in for a couple yards? Well, I just don't understand why no one's on that tight end ever.
Well, the key, I think the key in that situation is they read guard or center through to the running back. So the guy coming underneath is in man in the line of scrimmage. So he's flowing underneath the line. So you don't really see him. It's the
like literally he's like out of the view almost.
Yeah, in the middle linebacker.
They're like hiding him.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, no, that's a good call though, Patrick, because I've noticed that probably 6 or 7 times at least already this season, and it's just a guaranteed, 3 yards.
Yeah, and I mean it's always ran on the goal line. So yeah, it's just designed to get a couple yards, and it seems like it never ever fails. So. Yep.
It's a nice call. Eventually,
anyway,
like the tape will be out and someone will figure out a way to stop it. But for now, it's bread and butter. Yeah, go ahead. Continue. What do you want to lock in early?
So, but speaking of tight ends, I'm going right back to the well with my Dawson Knox overs on receiving yardage. I played earlier today at 37.5, and I see that it has moved. It moved 3 yards on FanDuel where I played it. It looks like it's still 39.5 on DraftKings.
Okay.
So I will play that. But he's really taken like a lot of the targets from Cole Beasley. Like Cole Beasley's had one
and Diggs too.
This year, and his usage is Diggs I think he's only gone over 100 maybe one game this year.
Yep.
So yeah, Dawson Knox, he's really taken some of the passing share from Cole Beasley for whatever reason. And I played it last week at 33.5, so the market's adjusted a little bit. I don't think it's adjusted enough though. Last week he played 96% of the snaps, and he's been consistently over that 80% mark since the first week of the year. And he's got a really favorable matchup against this Titan secondary who's been poor covering the slot, poor covering the tight end, and they're without I'm drawing a blank on his name. Their best cover corner, Christian Bolton, I think. So I think this matches up well for Dawson Knox, and I think he'll fly over that total.
Sounds good. We'll lock you and give you the 39.5. And good luck tonight. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye, guys.
See ya. Who do we got next, Qwan? All right. What's up, Nick? How did your Saturday go?
Saturday was great. We just needed a little bit of mustard and a golf ball to get home with that Ole Miss play.
Jeez.
And it's insane. But no,
there were so many. Matt Corral dropped like 3 dimes that should have been TDs that his receivers were just dropping. I couldn't believe that game was even that close at halftime, let alone late. Yeah.
Seriously. After watching my Hawkeyes put up absolutely nothing against Purdue's defense, I was like, I need to watch like a real offense right now. And then I was watching the receivers drop it for Ole Miss. I'm like, come on, man.
Yep. It was a rough few hours.
Anyways.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, I was kind of waiting for that shoe to drop at some point, and dropped a little harder than I was expecting on Saturday, but it was coming. So, anyways, so actually, speaking of Ole Miss, though, let me ask you this: do you have any kind of like insight or just opinion on like if Corral's going to play this weekend?
I have no. He came back into the game, and I was already like distraught over the Heisman chances because he looked like he was pretty banged up. It looked like he just is there a report today that something is ailing him? I haven't seen anything or looked though.
Lane Kiffin says he's not in very good shape and he's concerned about him being able to play this weekend.
Okay. Well, then that's more concerning than I would have guessed because he came in and looked fine and he just runs it so much. It looked like he just landed hard, like a bad knee bruise or something. Maybe the wind was knocked out of him too. But the line's coming down. The line was probably too high a little bit anyway. I know it's gone through 10 most everywhere. There's a few more 10s left. What's interesting to me, and look, there were 2 line moves against me last week. I didn't understand the Ole Miss one. I went and doubled down on it. The LSU 4 one I did get because LSU started announcing all these guys that were out since Monday morning. Mm-hmm. And then word comes out after the game that there were rumblings Ed Orgeron was going to be out at the end of the year, and the team was already talking about it midweek. And like, maybe someone heard about that and also was betting Florida because of that. But LSU's performance was very like, let's win one for Ed Orgeron somehow. Big O. Can they do it again against an Ole Miss team that's obviously a lot better? But are they this much better? And is Corral 100%? Good question. I could only look on the LSU side. But of course, it's kind of gone through the key number.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I saw there was like 1 or 2 tens left. That's what
you can still get 10. I can give you a 10 if you really want it. But
yeah, this is actually there's a lot of. I'm actually a little scared. Normally, like I'm like you, like volume goes down later you get into the year, but I'm actually seeing a lot that I like this week. I was a little
really.
surprised.
I hate the card. It's the least. Yeah. It's the card I like least of the season. I was talking to someone about that this morning. Anyway, there were 4 or 5 that. Stuck out, and even 2 of them I was like, oh, this sucks. It's like such a stupid play, but the number just I had to. But I really do hate the card. Maybe hopefully you can convince me on a few throughout the week, but yeah, I'm not loving it.
All right, well, for oh my god, you know what, I'll just sit tight on, because it's not Corral's such a big influence, and since it's just coming out, I'll sit tight for now on the Ole Miss part, or the LSU part, but what I will do, though, is because I think this is a little bit of an overreaction, and I have Wisconsin power rated slightly better than Iowa. I actually went Wisconsin minus the 3 against Purdue.
Yeah, that was one that I would have been closer on. I didn't end up. I still don't I didn't watch or look back yet and dig into Wisconsin Army. Was the final 13-7?
Well, no. So what happened was Wisconsin. I think no. Wisconsin got like a sack fumble. They punched it in, and then Army actually hit a deep pass, and then backdoored them like in the final seconds, basically. So Wisconsin won, obviously, but it was a little bit higher scoring than that.
So they each got another TD on top of it. Okay, yeah, I don't think my numbers were like necessarily like 6 or 7. It might have been something like 4, and it's probably a great spot to fade Purdue though, just in general. So I can't hate it. And yeah, we can give you the 3.
Yep. All right. Perfect. Sounds great.
All right, man. Talk to you later on.
Yep. Yeah, sounds good. Have a good one.
All right. Who do we got next, Qwan? How's it going, Carlos? How'd your weekend go betting?
Oh, actually, you know what? It went well because I didn't bet. I was so busy. I went to the skit.
No wonder I went 14-2 on Saturday. Holy cow. It explains so much. All right, continue.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, no, I went to the game. It was awesome. The tribute to Sean Taylor was cool. Mm-hmm. And then, just to look at our team, my team, we are putrid on offense. It's terrible. It's really bad. And so, with that being said, I'm taking the under in the Washington Green Bay game, under 49 early, because we look pretty bad, man.
Just Mahomes based on what you watched.
Yeah, it's pretty bad in DC, man.
All right, 49. I can give you 49. It looks like it was 50 earlier, so a little move down. But, under 49 against Green Bay. We can lock you in, Carlos.
Cool, man. Thank you.
Glad you enjoyed your weekend. We'll talk to you later.
Right.
See ya. Tom. What's up, Tom? How'd your weekend go?
Went pretty good, buddy. And 2 things I couldn't figure out. The Texas game, what did they go in the locker room and change uniforms, or what the hell happened?
Man, people would have said the same thing against Oklahoma too when they were up 18, and Oklahoma came all the way back and won. The frustrating one about Oklahoma State was that they were inside the red zone, really about to go up 21 or at least 17, and he just gift wraps a pick six. And this is like at the end of the half where Oklahoma State's not even going to have much time left anyway. And they just give them the other way. 7 points. It just changed everything. And, second half they just played scared, it seemed like. Maybe they didn't. They're like, oh, we can't let Thompson throw another pick six. I don't know. But they just totally changed what they were doing. And the running game totally disappeared too.
Yeah, that running back there had looked like he was playing against damn D3 school or something the first half.
Bijan Robinson has been fantastic.
The other one I staggered out there on my own. And I had to get me some of that Georgia total over 40. 3.5 like a smart person I am, and had a kicking game.
You scored with 0 seconds left to go over, and covered the Kentucky side covered, I think, too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, what are you looking at early this week?
I'm looking at the coastal Carolina. That line looks short to me. Is that this a sucker line, or what's going on? What's your opinion on that? I know App State's tough and boom, but that don't look like enough to me.
So I thought it was interesting that we talked about it. It was one of the Who Wants to Be a Betting Extraordinaire questions. I was surprised that everyone was betting them and laying App State on the road against Lafayette, against ULL. And then they got smacked. And I was like, this is one of the best teams they've played yet this year on the road. And I'm not sure this is the App State of old necessarily myself. So I'm kind of with you. And it wasn't enough. I would probably bet a -3 on the coastal side. But, yeah, I could only look there. To be honest, I just think Appalachian State, the market's maybe still a little behind on adjusting to where I am.
What's the best number you see on coastal?
3.5.
Let me go and give it 3.5. Man, they got me.
Cool. We could give you the 3.5, Tom. And, yeah, I'm going to keep my eye on it because I'm with you. And I think at 3, it would be a buy for me. So we'll see. It's an early game Wednesday. Talk to you later, man.
All right, brother. Peace.
See ya. Who do we got up next, Qwan? Right on, Andrew. Welcome to the show. How was your weekend betting?
No bets this weekend. Out of town for a wedding.
Oh, you might have told us about that before. That's actually refreshing. I'm proud of you. Respect it. Now you get to bet twice as much this recharge. Week. Yeah. What are you looking at early then to lock in for today?
Well, I don't even want to waste any time. I want to get straight to a game that's happening today. I'm going to take the Calgary Flames against the Ducks on the puck line.
Okay, break this down for us since I have no Puck's knowledge. You're going Calgary.
That's
why?
All right. Flames haven't had the best start to the season. They're a pretty decent team nonetheless. The Ducks are one of the worst teams in the league. They have no offense. They're basically rebuilding. I like the Flames better on offense and defense, which is the only reason why I would take the puck line to begin with, get the plus money value, and it's going to be their home opener. And then last year, the teams weren't able to travel between the U.S. and Canada, so a little extra travel time as well.
Interesting. Okay, I'm looking up real quick the puck line price, and I think it's like plus 130 range. Does that sound okay? Plus 130?
Yeah, plus 130 sounds fine.
All right. I know the market itself has moved on the Flames about 20 cents. Opened minus 170 money line up to minus 190s, even minus 200. So, yeah, it looks like it's the right side.
It looks like a really good buy low spot.
Cool. We will lock you in plus the 130 on the minus 1.5.
Thanks, guys.
Yep, take care.
I said on Friday I want to go to a Ducks game. I think I'm going to make that happen this week or something.
Do they come back home and play this week?
I mean, I'm pretty sure sometime in then.
I'm pretty tied up this week, but maybe the next week we could make it happen. I can go with you.
Last word, Cheetah from is it the Honda Center?
I have no clue.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
All I know is something about a flying V.
Quack.
And Coach Bombay. That's all I got.
Brian in New York.
What's up, Brian? How are you doing?
What's up, Cheetah? How you doing?
I'm doing well. It was a good weekend. How was yours? You do all right?
NFL and college were great. Baseball was not too great, but overall pretty good.
Yeah, what's with the Dodgers, man? I'm starting to get nervous. I actually probably think there's value betting the Braves series now. Everyone's just assuming like must-win Dodgers going home. I haven't looked at the series prices again. I should just do that now while I have it up. But I'm guessing.
I saw like minus 175.
Yeah, it's still, if it starts with a 1, it's probably a decent price. Let me see. Yeah, minus 175. I see 190, though, at some places, so maybe it's already started moving that way. But I think there's an issue, and then we can get into what you want to lock in Game 4 that people maybe aren't realizing yet, because the Dodgers used Urias. They're already out. Creep, Trevor Bauer, Kershaw's out. Dustin May's out. Max Scherzer was quoted last night saying, yeah, I knew before the game started my arm was dead. I thought maybe it would loosen up after we started, and it didn't, so that's why they pulled him after 4 innings. they don't have another starter. It's probably going to be Gonsolin, who pitched in Game 1 out of the pen. The pen's pretty beat up because they've had to use it a lot now in Game 1 as the pen game. And look, the Dodgers pitching is just a mess. I think the Braves win the series like pretty confidently. And I'm a Dodgers fan. I'm not supposed to say that, but I do. So for anyone listening, I think it's a pretty good time. You're like, oh, well, Walker Buehler, wait until after. If you want, you can. But if the Braves upset Buehler, which for sure could happen, then it's like the price just skyrockets and you're not going to get a good deal to play the Braves. So I kind of think it's now or never. Anyways, continue on. What do you want to lock in for this week? You going to stick with baseball or are you going to go for football?
Oh, shoot, I forgot there was a baseball game on tonight. Yeah, I guess I'll go there and I'll just take the Red Sox.
Yeah, if you want. I wasn't trying to corner you or anything. You could also, I know you've been betting the Dodgers, but
with the football game, but
yeah.
I'm rooting for the Red Sox. So are they? What's the line there?
Minus 108, best price.
Okay, that's not bad. I'll take that. Sure.
Okay, we will lock you in there. Good luck tonight, man. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
What's up, Joey? You're on fire, by the way. Joey, 5-0 and up to like plus 7.9 units or something so far this month. So well done there. Wanted to let everyone know who Joey was. There's the leaderboard. Yeah, plus 7.9. So outside of that, did your weekend go pretty well in general?
Yeah, went good. Finally had a winning Saturday, like more than just one unit. So
nice.
Was solid. But, yeah, for my pick, I want to go Lakers-Warriors under 229, unless it might be 228.5 now. But.
So Tuesday, I believe, is opening night. We have Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Golden State, Lakers. It has moved down. 228.5 is the best line.
All right, I'll take that.
Okay. Do you model NBA at all, or what's the angle here? Why are you looking at it?
I don't really model it. I just I think it should be around 226. I use other people's projections, but I like how the Lakers have Anthony Davis starting at the 4 with DeAndre Jordan, Dwight Howard,
and Russell Westbrook on the floor.
That lineup yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
I don't hate it either, man.
I don't like that, and plus. James Wiseman's out for the Warriors. Looney's way better defensively, and he's worse offensively. So I really like that play.
I actually don't mind probably the 3.5. I think this Lakers start could be an utter disaster. Again, not supposed to admit that as a LA guy, but I'm worried. So I'm with you on under. Maybe even Lakers team total under is something that's worth pegging. But yeah, we'll give you 228.5 for today.
All right, sounds good.
Go, man. Take it easy.
Right,
Who's up next, Qwan? How's it going, Sarab? How you doing? How was your weekend?
It was good, man. How about yours?
It was good as well. Glad to hear it. What are you looking at locking in early?
I want to go to the bases tonight. I'm actually going to go overs first spot.
Whoa. Are you okay? Are you kidnapped?
Yeah.
Is this the whole, like, what I would tweet if someone had me thing? You got to break it down for us now. Why over here?
No, honestly, I'm just not a fan of either of these starting pitchers. The Astros have pretty good numbers against Rodriguez, and then the underlying numbers on Urquidy are not good. Both teams have been hitting, so I like the over.
Okay. It's 5 flat. It's minus 110, just basically everywhere. So we'll give you that over the first 5, minus 110. Good luck, man.
Thanks, Preston. Take care.
I'm still not sure he's okay.
That's alarming.
If anyone else out there is listening, knows Sarah outside of the show, send him a message. Check in. Better safe than sorry. Who's up next?
We got Jamie in Atlanta.
All right, Jamie. Congrats. 2-0 start. You probably were at both games. I think you said you at least were at the one last night, right? And, oh, yeah, you responded to me on Twitter the one that we thought was over the fence. You said it was right at you. You thought it was over, and then, of course, it didn't go over. Anyways, I'll stop complaining, but well done. How else was your weekend? You went to Vegas, right, for Friday and Saturday?
Yeah, so I was not at game one because I was in Vegas. I sold those tickets.
Yeah.
But yeah, flew out to Vegas Thursday night, took a red eye back Saturday, made it in time for the game Sunday. So pretty good weekend. Basically
Living the
broke even
dream
in Vegas, like within like $50 or so. So that's a win. Won in football and won some blackjack for the pot there.
That's right. I did. I told Qwan you already sent the 100 over, so we're locked in for the monthly prize pool, an extra $100 there. Well done. Yeah, what are you looking at early then for the week that you want to lock in?
Let's go UTSA minus 6.5. I think it's still out there. I bet at 5.5 last night, but I figured that wouldn't last. I've got this double digits, so we'll happily lay it against La Tech. UTSA looks like the real deal. Pretty much outranks La Tech across the board. I think the only way this gets covered up is if it stays super low, but I mean, total near 60. Book's not expecting that. I'm not really expecting that either, so I think they'll be all right. I don't think La Tech's going to get too much done against that defense.
The UTSA thing is funny to me. Look, I think going into the year, we anticipated them to be pretty good in general. Good for a team in a school called UTSA. It's all relative, but they beat Illinois to open the year on the road, like great. Then they crushed Lamar 54-0. I just pulled up their schedule. They beat Middle Tennessee good. Then I liked them against Memphis, and I remember the market, it disagreed by a half point or it just stayed steady, and I was actually a little confused. They end up beating Memphis. It went down to the wire, but they did. Then they had the fall asleep game against UNLV after that, but they still won. Then the market moved against me when I liked them against Western Kentucky, and they beat Western Kentucky. I think in the final they only ended up winning by 6, but they were up 13-17 most of the game. They handled it. Then the market crushed Rice, plus 18.5 down to 17, maybe even some 16.5s. And UTSA beat Rice 45-0. The market has tried to say, look, UTSA isn't this good, yet they keep covering. So outside of the UNLV game, they've been phenomenal. So I can't go against you here. If anything, there's been twice I actually bet on them. So it's 7 some spots, still a few 6.5s. We'll lock you in at 6.5.
Yep, appreciate it. I wanted to ask you on one. What do you got on Fresno State? I was surprised that I bet it last night at 3.5. It moved to 3. I thought it was going to 4. What do you have there?
I think, agree with the move. I'm pretty sure I looked at Nevada semi-closely and decided to pass, but I don't know. I have Nevada and Fresno pretty closely rated just on a neutral, so it may come down to how we value Fresno home field. But, yeah, Nevada's really good. I know they had a weird end against Mexico State where they, donated 21 points with their backups at the end, and that didn't look quite as good, and then they didn't play as well last week, but in general, I think they're similar. So, yeah, I think I was right around the 3, and the 3.5, and the hook was a little enticing, but now it's gone. So, yeah, you up at 6, more or less, just a few points higher.
Yeah, just about at 6. I mean, not quite 7, but I like 3.5. I didn't want it to go to 4, so I grabbed it. So, I mean, we'll see. I think there actually might be some room on the over there. I think that could be closer to mid to high 60s if both offenses get going.
That's what I kind of circled, where I was instead of playing Nevada at 3.5, it may just be better to play the both teams score 30 plus. So yeah, I'm not against you there.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we'll see. Appreciate it.
Yep, no problem. Take it easy. We'll talk to you later.
Yep.
Who's up next, Qwan? Who do we got? What's up, Honor? How you doing? How was your weekend?
I was in the green, so that's always a good weekend.
It is. Green is good. Well done. What are you looking at locking in early?
I'm looking at give me Titans money line
tonight. Oh, okay.
Tonight, Titans money line. I didn't know if I want to do the spread or the money line. I just think the Bills have been way too hot, man. Like, they got to come down eventually. And Titans, I know they lost against the Jets, and they played some pretty bad football, but Julio's back tonight, I think. I just don't think it's going to go how a lot of people think it. I don't think Bills are going to blow them out. I'm hoping for the Titans.
Okay, so a couple of things. One, plus 230, best price. We'll lock you in for that.
Okay.
It's not bad. You could be right. The Bills may not keep this up. You also could be wrong. The Bills could very well keep this up against a Tennessee team that has no defense, and the Bills keep trucking along. I know the way you phrased it, Qwan looked at me because he's learned how I react to the way people kind of get on the do theory, which Carlos kind of started on this show. Believe me, the Bills are not necessarily due to have a bad game. And it would probably not be against the team like Tennessee that defensively is, bottom 5 to 7 in the league. It was kind of similar last week. Had a discussion, may have been with Nick. He's like, hey, UCF, they lost Gabriel. They haven't been very good at quarterback since. When's the buy low spot for UCF? And I was like, you know what? It's probably going to happen, but not against Cincinnati, who's one of the best 10 teams in the country. So, this week's probably the week to pass. Now, it worked out. I think Cincinnati blew them out. It's just tough if you're trying to pick the spot to be like, hey, the Bills are going to regress without a defense that can at least try to help the cause. Now, Tennessee could score 40 themselves or something, and you're in the mix.
And that's the thing. I saw a stat that Bills are like 1-1 against teams over 500 and 0-3 or 3-0 against teams under. So, I mean, they blew the Dolphins out and the Redskins, or not the Redskins no more, but the football team.
Yep.
So I don't know. Who did they lose to? I forget.
It was the Steelers in week one, like a weird game they just let get away. We said right after the next week, we were like, that's going to be one of the weirder results of the year. Buffalo losing at home to Pittsburgh. So that's just, yeah.
Yeah, it probably will be. So, all right, man. Go Titans.
That's right. We got you plus 230. Good luck tonight.
All right, man. Yep, appreciate it.
Qwan was smirking. He's like, oh, no, what's he going to say? Look, he could be right. Tennessee could do it. Julio back helps. I use this example, and maybe it doesn't register with people until they see it in this context. I've seen 18 straight reds on a roulette table when I was walking through in Vegas once. And it just, black was not due after 9 of them or 10. Or 11. It's still 50-50 minus the green equity for the house on green 0 or double green 0 or whatever. But it's not a direct comparison. But it's like, hey, the Bills are due to have a bad game. They're going to have a bad game eventually, but there's no reason why it's tonight versus in a week or in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So unless you think the number's just too high and it's inflated, it might be. In fact, I agree. I think it should be 4.5. If you made me bet it, I would take 6. But not enough. If it was 7, I would. It's not going to get that high, though. So that's where I'm at, but I just like to kind of give context to everything. You're still staring at me.
No, maybe that Steelers game was what they were due. That's the one that...
True. The due-ness could have been early.
Yeah.
There you are. All right, who's up next?
Finally, Mr. B.
What's up, Mr. B? How'd your weekend go?
Saturday was good. Yesterday, I stunk it up. Typical weekend.
Typical NFL gets us every time. Look, I've tried to tone my volume down in the NFL, which was probably good yesterday. Otherwise, I think I would have been with some people in the Browns. I ended up not playing that throughout the week while everyone was calling in and talking up the Browns. And then I feel like there was 1 or 2 other plays that would have been in the mix. But the NFL is just tough. It really is. So I know people want action, especially when you have a good Saturday. You're like, all right, heat check Sunday time. And it's just, man, NFL's tough. So regardless, what are you looking at? New week. What do you want to lock in?
Well, I think I'm going to be on Pitt this weekend, laying 3 against Clemson. I just don't think Clemson's that good. They've had plenty of chances to show us that they can play, and I just don't see it. And I think Pitt's pretty solid. Laying 3 at home is not too much for me, so I think I'm going to come in on Pitt pretty good.
You had said before the year that Clemson, by the way, and this is one of the ones that I liked overnight, Clemson was 4. Now it's 3. I think this should be pick, and I've adjusted the hell out of Clemson. Like, they stink. It's true. But they're still better than Pittsburgh, in my opinion. -3's implying they're about even teams. Like, if Clemson can figure anything out, they're better talent-wise, from a coaching perspective. They're better than Pittsburgh is. I just couldn't do it. I like the other side some. So we'll lock you in for the -3 on Pitt, but we are opposite on this one.
Well, that's okay. Everybody's got their opinion, and mine is that Davo's team stinks. So,
and I did
we'll
mention at the beginning of the show, or when Nick called, I said I hate the card this week in college. I think there was 5 that I had value on, and 2 of those I hated it. It's just ugly, and I never would have thought getting 4 with Clemson against Pitt would feel ugly. But look, and there's a bunch of 3.5 still. So if you can get the hook on the dog side, I think that's worthwhile. But it hurts. It's weird, but it is a painful one. I think it feels a lot easier to lay it with Pitt, regardless. Anyways, good luck, man. We will talk to you later on.
Okay. Thank you.
See ya. We got anyone else on the line? Okay, we'll take them. What's up, Vic B? How you doing? How was your weekend?
It's pretty good, Preston. How about yours?
It was good. Sorry, I was taking a drink of water. But yeah, it was fantastic. What are you looking at betting today?
Good.
Locking in.
So my dogs, they didn't quite cover, but they got it done though. I was looking at a.
Did you watch the end of that game?
I did. It was the little backdoor business.
I mean, Kentucky, I'm pretty sure called timeout to run one more play to try to cover, and then they scored on it. They easily could have just given up, and it kind of. I don't know what the right side was, because it's hard to cover 22, 22.5, 23 when you only score 31. But they had
30, right?
0 seconds. So, regardless, what are you looking at early?
I'm looking at a player prop for the game tonight. What do you have? Cole Beasley scoring a touchdown. What's the best number I can get on that?
Anytime or first touchdown?
Anytime touchdown.
Plus 225?
Yeah, I was looking at like 198, so I'll definitely take that. I'll take the plus 225 for Cole Beasley to score a touchdown.
What's your angle here? They've been using Knox a lot. We had Patrick talking about that earlier on the show.
Exactly. So, I mean, we've seen last year, Beasley can be, a critical part of their offense, and they've not really used him at all this year. Tennessee doesn't stop the pass very well. I just look for him to try to get him involved.
Fair enough. All right. We'll lock it in, man. 2 plus 2, what did I say? Plus 225? Yeah. Plus 225.
225.
Cool. Good luck.
All right.
We'll talk to you later on.
All righty.
Next. Shank, how's it going, man? How'd your weekend go?
What's up, man? Not that bad. Small loser on the weekend, but I've had a pretty good NFL season so far, so I don't mind.
I feel like all the discussion, which I generally, if it was like a regular radio show, they'd be talking about how all the books got crushed. There was already a bunch of quotes from different books on Twitter all night last night talking about how bad they needed the Seahawks. Otherwise, it would be astronomically awful for the books. Like that stuff kind of pisses me off. Books are doing fine. But in general, I think it was a Sunday, that the public, or more often or not, the square sides were covering. The sharper sides were not. And it was just one of those days. But hopefully we can bounce back this week for NFL.
Yeah, I was actually I was on Seahawks plus 5.5 last night, so that was nice that I wasn't going to lose that in overtime.
Yes.
It was close. But it was nice. I was on that last night. So
well done.
But I was like, thank you. I figured I might as well get some practice in on your show before next month starts, because I'm a college basketball guy. So
daily.
I figured I'd call. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got 7 shots, right? Basically.
Mm-hmm.
I figured I'd call in tonight. I happen to be in Boston today, so I'm definitely going to be watching the game with some fans.
You going to a bar or something locally?
Yes, sir.
Which one? Do you mind saying? Actually, don't say. Never mind. That was a dumb question. I don't want anyone to come find you. But I've heard the Boston bar scene during games is like pretty dope. So you'll have a hell of a time. I'm sure it's going to be great.
I'm super excited. Yeah, I'm not from around here, and they really do get into their socks. So
Totally.
Which I'm by association. By association I'm a Sox fan. So, but yeah, what's the best number you can give me on Yes run in the first inning tonight?
So I was dumb enough to not bring my laptop cord, and so I don't have
All good.
as quick of a way to look up multiple prices. I'm going to look at 2 on my phone that I've been going back and forth between. You want the Yes score on it?
Sure. Yes,
All
I
right.
want the Yes, please.
One spot's minus
while you do that,
125.
Okay.
It's a higher total, so it's not going to be plus money, I don't think.
No.
I'm looking at the
I was
other
seeing
one.
a minus 110 that I was going to get on.
Where do you see it?
It's a paperhead.
That's fine. If it's there right now, I trust
Okay,
you.
cool.
We can give you minus 110.
Yeah, I was about to bet it right before I called it. Maybe I should bet it first and bet if it changes.
Yeah, a few other spots are minus 125 as well, so that's theoretically some value anyway.
Yeah. My other outs have minus 125. That's why I was going to take the minus 110. But yeah, I think that Boston's been applying pressure early and attempted to jump on the Astros. But I also think that if I get one walk from Rodriguez, that the Astros also have a decent chance of scoring in the first.
Definitely.
They have a heavy top order.
Cool, man. Root for some runs early and enjoy the game with the Boston crowd.
Yes, sir. Thank you
All right,
so
man.
much. You have a good one.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Who do we got up next, Qwan? How's it going, Ryan? How'd your weekend go?
Good. Had some good results in the NFL. So, yeah. How
There
was
you
yours?
go. We were just talking about how the public seemed to crush and some of the Sherper guys lost. So now he's like, hey, I had a great weekend. I had a great Sunday, and I feel bad. But I'm glad you won because I certainly did not. The 2 games I liked got just destroyed, the Lions and the Chargers. So a lot better than I can say. What are you looking at early? Let's keep the juices flowing. I don't know if you're going to look to NFL early or college. What are you thinking?
No, actually, I want to get started with some NBA.
Ooh, okay. You looking at tomorrow then, one of those 2 games?
Yeah. So I want the Warriors, I think, 3.5.
Nice. I'm with you, man. I talked about it earlier because someone wanted to play under. This Lakers start, I think, could just be an absolute disaster. So I'm not sure if that's part of
I
your
think
fade or what, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, so my fate is just based on Russell Westbrook. I think I've always been lower on him than most people. I think I don't think he's a good fit with LeBron and AD, and I think they're obviously going to play him a lot since they just got him. They want to give him every chance they can to fit, but I think it's just not going to work, and yeah.
I have to interject because you're right, and it seems so glaringly obvious he's not a good fit with LeBron and AD. Now, it might be you could push it, you could argue it if you played AD at the 5 and LeBron at the 4 and put 2 shooters alongside those 3. But no, the Lakers we're going to start DeAndre Jordan with Anthony Davis and LeBron and Russell Westbrook. Oh, and by the way, 4 of our wing options are hurt. So hopefully Ken Bazemore's okay. I just, Warriors plus 3.5. I think
Yeah,
it's
no,
good.
that's exactly what I was thinking. So, yeah, I think.
All right, man. Good luck. We will talk to you later on this week.
All right, sounds good.
You had an opinion on that you.
Do we have anyone else waiting?
Yeah, we got Mike in New Jersey.
Okay, give Mike, I'm sorry, I need 30 more seconds. I'm patting myself on the back on this. I've watched a lot of basketball in my life, Qwan. I tweeted about this too. People could Google it. This is years ago. We're talking 6-7 years ago. There was no single player, having watched a lot of basketball, this is when Westbrook was on the Thunder, that I was like, there's not a player that got more bounces on his free throws that went in that I could remember. And it was just something my mind finally grasped. I was like, how do all of Westbrook's free throws hit every part of the rim and drop in so frequently? I was like, if he's just run super hot on bounces at the free throw line, he might actually not be as good of a shooter as we think. If there is anyone that shoots 80% plus from the free throw line that I think will definitely not for the rest of his career. I was like trying to get side action that Westbrook would, I don't remember my number, but shoot sub 70% at some point from the free throw line in his career. And I never got anyone to bet me. But sure enough, he sucks. So, Mike, you're up. How's it going, man? How was your weekend?
Good. How's it going?
It's good. I'm just upset about this Lakers situation. I'm upset the Dodgers are down 0-2, but I'm surviving. It was actually a pretty good weekend. Life is good. That's all that matters. What are you going to want to lock in early this week? You going football, baseball, basketball?
Gonna go football. I want for tonight the over on a prop. I was looking at Zach Moss over 14.5 receiving yards.
Ooh, interesting. What's the angle on that one?
I think Tennessee's going to dial up. With Rabel's going to dial up some blitzes, some pressure, and just all you got to do is get one screen pass there. And I think Moss has really taken over to becoming more of the main role there. And I think just catch one. Just takes one ball there for over 14.5, and hopefully it's a busy game, high scoring game with the high over under. So
nice. I mean, you're right. It's one ball. But he's also over under 2.5 receptions. So he'll probably get more like 2 or 3. And 14.5. We can lock you in there. It's moved up to 15.5 most spots, but there's of the 3 I looked, one is 14.5. Good luck, man. We'll lock it in. Talk to you later on.
Thanks. Sounds good.
See ya. Anyone else call in? Or are we good? Andre, how's it going, man? We got NBA now. You excited?
I'm pumped for the NBA season, Preston, but I'm going to stick with football for tonight. I'm taking the Bills. They're giving them 6 and a hook, and I think that they'll be able to take care of that specifically because there's more momentum for them being the odds-on favorite in the AFC. I think they're going to take hold of that mantle. They're going to remember how close they came last year. And, last but not least, Stephon Diggs can't have his little brother out there showing him up, you know what I'm saying? So he knows what he has to do in prime time after Diggs, you know what I mean? It was feast or famine. We all saw that. It was feast or famine. Even though the safety should have helped him out, you know what I mean? You go from being on the top of the mountain to that very next play, getting cooked. But because we have a coaching situation here in New England where we want to have, we don't want to go out and find the best right now. We want to kind of try to groom, the next generation in the family. I'm talking about Stephen Belichick in particular, who I feel should be on the hot seat, in terms of his contributions to that defense, which is not doing what it needs to do. But Preston, I don't want to. The Bills, they see their opportunity. It's not a statement moment. They're going to cover that 6.5 and get us on the right track. And tomorrow we'll be back again with the NBA. Thanks for the time.
Sounds good, Andre.
He called him.
Yeah, he's so straight to the point. He's a consummate professional. Look, I can give you -6 too, by the way, Andre. So you don't even have to get the hook. There's a bunch of -6s now in the market. We'll give it to you. I don't necessarily agree. I think you are kind of paying a premium on the Bills. We had the other caller that called in, wanted Titans money line on the other side. Hunter, maybe? I don't remember who it was.
Yeah, it's Hunter, I believe.
So what was his point? I had something I wanted to say. Oh, the football play with Diggs. Let's ask you about this because Diggs is just picking balls off every game and taking it back for 7. They're down 1. He takes the shot like, hey, I can make a play here, win the game. They do. They miss the 2 points, so they're up 5. How do you do that again? Like literally the first play after when you're up 5. Like when you're up by 5, the defensive sentiment needs to change, right? You play defensive back. Like you pick one off, you take it back for 6. Now you have the lead. You don't need to be as aggressive. I know he wanted like the glory, but I think he learns from that. He's a smart enough player. But when you're up 5 in that spot, like you just cannot bite again. Whether you think you have safety help or not.
It looked like a bracket. He got double moved, so he was playing bad leverage. I think he, from what I remember, he reverse turned and the receiver cut back inside. So if you're bracketing somebody, the safety has inside and you have outside. So it was a good ball by Mack, but
it was because the safety had no chance.
Safety overplayed it because he was playing outside.
He went to the side.
Yeah. So I mean, he was gambling, and
this is why are you gambling up 5 after that? After you just made like the play of the week. Anyway, I think he'll learn from it because Diggs is like one of the more exciting defenders we've seen in a long time. So I almost was, in a weird way, I didn't care who won the game anyway, but glad it happened. Like that's like a pretty big learning experience. You end up getting the win anyway, so you're safe there. But now he can look back and be like, all right, I've like profitably or been right about a lot of these, but also in certain game situations, I can be a little smarter about when I'm gambling. And up 5 against a rookie quarterback with not much time left is probably not the time to go for it again, right after you just did it. It's funny that Bill Belichick thought, or whoever was calling the play on the Pats side, like, what if he bid again?
Yeah.
Nah, he wouldn't. Yeah, let's try anyway. We're down 5. And then it works the first play. He's gone. Anyway, what were you going to say?
Our freshman year, we played against Tiffin. Nate Washington played in the NFL for like 10 years. So they moved me to safety because I'm 5'7", he was 6'3". We held him to 2 catches for like 14 yards the whole game.
Wow.
So I'm at safety, quarterback looks me off. The one post route he throws, Nate Washington takes for 60. I'm on the sideline
The one time.
praying. Yeah, I was on the sideline praying, and our D lineman caught a game-winning touchdown in the back corner of the end zone. Like those moments where somebody saves your ass, like, all right, I'm not going to take that chance anymore. So it's a learning experience. Like the play he caught the interception on, that was just it was a drop. So
yeah, it was kind of it was
a magnet for the ball.
Yeah, the throw wasn't great anyways either on the one that he did pick off. So all right, we got a few minutes. We do need to get to day 2 of Who Wants to Be a Betting Extraordinaire. I believe we had 5 contestants through, so there'll be 5 calling in for a Monday Night Football pick tonight. It'll be pretty straightforward. I think we'll probably just do side and total, give all of you guys a 50-50 more or less shot at day 3 and pocketing $250, and then obviously a few questions away from the day 7 and the $25,000. But I need to give out the rest of my college football picks real quick. Clemson's first, 3.5 or better. It was 4 earlier this morning, but that's moved. I'm just looking up the current prices. I've been on the NFL page and I only got my phone, so it's going a little slower, but all is well. 356 is the next one. I believe this moved down to 3, which don't hate it at 3. Look, the time to buy NC State was last week when it was 2 against Boston College. I don't think it's when it was 3.5 this morning on the road against Miami, who's better than Boston College, even without King, and went toe-to-toe with Howell and UNC just this last week. I think they ended up losing by 3. So they scored 42, though. Like, it was an impressive performance. I think now's the time to buy Miami. It's kind of disrespectful that they were getting 3.5 at home to NC State. And you guys know I've been, since the summer, love Devin Leary, love NC State. We've backed them probably 3 times this year. We haven't faded them a single time. This is the time. 3 or 3.5, I think. I think it's Miami time. It's ugly. Another one kind of like Clemson that's ugly, but kind of just have to go with it. TCU is the other one, 382 minus the 4. This is more just a numbers play. I think, look, we played on TCU against Texas Tech. We decided last week against this whole Caleb Williams wonder, brand new starting quarterback for Oklahoma, crazy comeback against Texas. Probably not time to jump back in on TCU. They give up $1 million to Oklahoma and Caleb Williams. Let's jump back on TCU against the West Virginia team that I think is a little bit overvalued in general. Minus 4 on TCU I think is good. And even the 4.5s that are out there, I have this closer to a full TD. So I think that's okay for what it's worth. Let me pull up the next one. 405. Look, San Diego State against an option team, really low scoring. Anticipating about 40 points in this game, and you can get 4 at a ton of spots. I had it below a field goal. I generally don't, my projections don't value the option teams as high against defenses that generally perform well, like the Aztecs defense. So I'm not surprised I have a play here, but look, San Diego State's offense, by the way, has been improving slightly every week. There were a lot of question marks with the new quarterback, and theoretically they were going to have a new scheme too, which hasn't been as tempo and crazy as they thought it might be, and the hype was all offseason, but it's been strong. I don't think they should be getting this many points against an option team that I think can defend well to some extent, at least in Air Force, in a total that's sitting at 40. Take the Aztecs plus the 4. And there was a fifth one, and coincidentally I brought this up. It's probably going to be Wake, and I can confirm tomorrow with people. But I wanted to dig into the Army-Wisconsin box score more, and I think I brought it up with Nick early on this show that I hadn't done that yet, and I wanted to just try to get a better sense of how that game went, maybe even watch some of it back. But I think Wake -3 is low. I'm closer to 6. I don't think... Remember Pikachu was on, and he was fading Army a couple weeks back. I'm not... Who was it that they... Was it just Wisconsin? No, because he played under in that. There was another game he wanted to fade Army. I don't remember which one it was. I apologize. Off the top of my head, I don't recall. But I agree that, look, maybe it was just the Wisconsin under, and his point was, hey, Army's offense has looked somewhat okay, but against really poor competition. Now they're playing Wisconsin. He liked the under 39. Worked out. Kind of a similar angle here. Like if Army's... Look, Wake's defense has been surprisingly good this year relative to what I anticipated going in, and I think what most people thought. And their offense against this Wake defense should eat. I think -3 on Wake's good. I just want to make sure I'm not totally missing something. I wanted to dig into the Army-Wisconsin box a little bit more. But, yeah, without an actual upgrade to Army for that result against Wisconsin, I think it should be 6. 3 is a pretty good buy. So we probably are just going to be locking that in. But that's the 5. Not a ton more I really liked. LSU technically, if you just hate it, but I don't have it in me to root against Matt Corral. Hopefully he plays and is good to go because we like Heisman trophies at 30-1 or better. And that's that. Maybe a couple totals I'll be adding tomorrow, but not a card I love. And it's usually after a really good weekend, I can't wait to just fire anything that sparks any sort of, ooh, that might work. Like nothing. It's just like a couple ugly numbers. I like San Diego State against an option team in a low total, getting that many points. And I like Wake. Like that's about it. Probably going through some more stuff throughout the week. I'll add 1 or 2 more, but that's kind of the extent of it. So pretty quick this week. Any thoughts? Last things? No? Then let's get ready for Who Wants to Be a Betting Extraordinaire. We will wrap up Monday's edition of Last Word Cheetah. We appreciate all of the callers talking through all of your bets. Congrats again, Joey and Patrick, 10-0 combined last week. Now sitting in first and third on the leaderboard, at least $650 going to one of them or one of you. If one of you guys can get hot, it's still possible. Fade this guy over here. There's the leaderboard. Sarab's in the mix still. Don't want to count him out. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on Bets TV. Who Wants to Be Betting Extraordinaire next?